Hello everyone and welcome to Kernel of Wisdom's Mindful Moments. I'm Joelle and today we're going to talk about how to stay mindful while you're away from home. Well, today I'm joining you from the beautiful Turks and Caicos Islands, but I thought I'd take a few moments to talk about how to keep up your meditation practice and stay mindful when you're traveling, because it's really hard to do. The reality is when you're traveling, there are always so many other things to do. Plus, you're not in a set routine like you are at home, and if you're traveling with other people or with a guided tour, you might not even have very much control over your own schedule. But your mindfulness practice can also benefit huge from the change in environment. Every day you're taking new things, you're learning, you're growing, and you're probably noticing things about yourself that you might not notice when you're at home. When we travel, it's almost like we leave part of our identities at home. We leave behind all those labels that we become so attached to because they don't really matter in a new place. Plus, you're just so relaxed. So if you can make space in your day to be mindful and integrate all that you're noticing and that you're learning, you can really reap the benefits. All right, well, that's enough chatter, so let's get right down to it. Here are my top 5 ways to stay mindful when traveling. First, if you want to keep meditating, you've got to make the time. Don't expect time to just show up in a busy day. The best times to try and make time are when you first wake up or before bed, because that's usually when you have the most control of your schedule. So if you can, try waking up 15 to 20 minutes earlier or leaving an extra 10 to 20 minutes before bed to meditate a little. Second, you might need to let go of your at-home meditation routines. Sit on a chair to meditate when you're at home? Well, the edge of the bed might need to do while you're traveling. Do you always meditate for 30 minutes when you're at home? Well, you might not get that here, but 10 minutes is better than nothing. Essentially, there's no point being attached to your routines. They'll just cause you stress and take away from the quality of your meditations or your ability to be mindful at all while you travel. Plus, the change of pace may actually open up a new technique or a way of meditating that you've never tried before. Or it might even give you some new insight into your own relationship with your meditations. In any case, the change in routine is a pretty easy way to sharpen your beginner's mind. Third, remember there are lots of opportunities to be mindful in a day and not just when you're sitting in meditation. While traveling, maybe your practice looks like 5 minutes of mindfulness or 5 minutes of meditation many times throughout the day. Practice every time you sit on a bus, or maybe you decide to focus on a mindful eating practice during lunches and dinners. Or maybe your practice simply involves taking 5 minutes to journal about what you're grateful for from that day before you go to bed. Now that's not a terrible way to appreciate all that you experience on your trip either. Fourth, immerse yourself. Don't forget that an immersion practice is a mindfulness practice too. And what better time to immerse yourself and follow what you love than when you're traveling? In fact, with every activity and everything that you do each day while you're traveling, you can take the opportunity to fully immerse yourself in that moment, to pay attention to what each of your senses is experiencing and what you're taking away from that. It's only going to allow you to take more out of your trip while it keeps you meditating and mindful all day. So listen intently to those around you. Notice the smell of the sea or the delicious fruits and foods around you, and the colors and smells and feel of them, or just fully feel the warmth of that sun because you're going to miss it when you go back home. Fifth and finally, remind yourself that our goal is to have no goal in meditation. There's no striving involved, and I know that's a tough one for Westerners because we live in such goal-oriented societies, but sometimes the best practice is just to go for a scoop of ice cream, or just to fully appreciate the feeling of the sand beneath our toes, or the moments where we're out on a sailboat with the wind through our hair. And that's what this practice is all about, is to live fully in those moments. So don't fault yourself for not being able to sit and meditate if that's the intention you go into your travel with. And that's it. That's the 5 tips I have. To me, those are the most important, overarching 5 things I try to remember when I'm traveling. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to post them in the comment box below. And otherwise, happy meditating.